Just for the record, the chair couldn't make it tonight, so I'm taking over for the chair. I'd like to call the April 7th, 2025 Saugus Board of Health meeting to order. On the first item is, do you want to?
So, Mr. Durant, if I may, so because we don't have a full board this evening, I'd like to recommend that we table the public hearing and vote on the proposed regulations until next month, so we have a full board to vote on it, as well as we can extend the public comment period for an additional 30 days, just in case anybody hasn't gotten a chance to get anything in. But I would recommend that we table it until next month.
Okay, we have a motion to postpone the public hearing on Article 10 until the next meeting.
Which will be May 5th.
May 5th?
May 5th, yeah.
And the public comment period will be extended to that time. Seconded? Second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Chair, aye. Unanimous?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, second is the review of the minutes. Did everyone have a chance to take a look at the minutes? Is there any comments or corrections?
I don't see any corrections.
See it.
I'll present that we accept the minutes as they are.
Seconded.
There's a motion and seconded by the chair to accept the meeting minutes from March. What was the date?
10.
March 10.
March 10th. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
You sign those.
Unanimous. Wind waste? Elliot?
Joe, could you just sign those? How you doing tonight?
Good, how are you guys?
Very good. Thank you, sir.
Good evening, Interim Chair, Director Freilich, and the rest of the board members. Since the last Board of Health meeting on March 10th, the facility operated at 99% boiler availability, processed just over 36,000 tons, generated slightly over 19,000 megawatts. The facility only had one unscheduled downtime event, and that totaled 12 hours. Since the last meeting, the facility has shipped just under 8,425 tons of ash to the Wind Waste Shrewsbury facility, or landfill. On 3/18, the Tech Environmental Annual Report was submitted to the Board of Health. We're very pleased with the conclusions, which to summarize are that the plant in Montefiore met all air compliance criteria outlined in our operating permits in the 2024 year. This report from an independent third party that is contracted by the town to monitor our facility confirms that we are operating in a way that prioritizes health and safety of all. On the 14th, Saugus Fire Department was on site for a false alarm on the tipping floor. We had our third-party contractor brought on site to ensure our system was fully operational and all repairs were made. On 3/18 as well, we had a resident call asking about the venting evolution that was going on. The facility was venting steam at the time during a planned isochronous event, while National Grid was completing scheduled work. Do just want to note this week at the facility we are performing our 9-month stack testing evolution, so that will be taking place the next couple days, and Tech Environmental will be on site for observation. From a community update, we were pleased to sponsor and participate in the annual St. Patrick's Day luncheon at the Senior Center. That's all I got for my update.
Okay, great. Okay.
Short and sweet, right?
That's it. Try and do my part for
I
you.
hear you. I hear you.
Any of the board members have any questions? I have a feeling. Okay.
Go for it.
Elliot, a few months ago, I asked about a couple of questions about the landfill. And my point, I had 2 points. One, trying to get a more accurate picture of the ash generated and ash shipped. And the second thing is where we are in regards to the 2018 permit, and hoping that you may be able to answer some questions today. If you're not, feel free to answer us afterwards, take your time and answer afterwards. But, and one of my first questions is, in the landfill report, it says, the capacity utilization, waste density, and environmental monitoring information required under the regulations is submitted under separate cover to the department as part of an annual progress report prepared per the 2017 revised engineering plan. So maybe some of the information that I'm looking for is in that document, okay? And I'm wondering if you could provide that to us.
That was
I don't
provided to the board on January 31st.
really, because I asked last month, could you give me the information? And the information I got was only this, so I'm just trying to get a copy of it so I can,
I'll send it again.
yeah, I guess,
Shoot to each other.
yeah.
Send that over.
So, but in regards to the landfill report, I'm wondering if you could give us some additional information. Would it be possible to get a monthly, I know you, in the annual report, you have, I think, 112,000 tons of ash generated, and 42,500 was sent to Shrewsbury. Could you give us a monthly accounting of how much was shipped, starting in April, all the way to this point? Like today, you said, I think it was
Talking
85.
April of 24.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You said 8,500. Last month it was 5,800. I don't know how much it is in regards to the total amount of ash that was generated.
Yep.
Okay, we just want to get a sense of the volumes and in regards to the amount that you shipped. And what the other thing I'd like to know is, can you explain to me where we are in regards to the 2018 permit, which allowed you another 400,000 cubic yards of ash to be disposed? Because I think in the report you say you have 92,500 cubic yards left as capacity. So are you near the end of that valley filling? And is that what's happening now? Because we're getting reports of piles at the top of the landfill, and we'd just like to know what's going on there and where you are in regards to the permit. And like I say, you can't answer it, feel free to answer afterwards.
I can
Sure,
follow
Joe.
up with a more detailed answer, but yes, they're under construction of the valley fill.
Okay.
Phase 2.
Do you know, like, in the permit, it describes Valley 1, Phase 1 and Phase 2, Valley 2, Phase 1 and Phase 2. Are we near the end of that, and where are we in regards to that?
I would say in the middle.
In the middle?
Correct.
Okay, great. Thank you. That's,
I think the report, when Joe resends it over, will answer a lot of your questions, and then I took down the notes so I can do that starting from April of last year to
okay,
current date
Great.
for going forward is fine, no problem.
great. If you could, the amount shipped, the amount generated, the amount shipped, the amount disposed, that would really be helpful. Thank you.
No problem. Anything else, or?
Anything else?
You brought up my question because I heard about there were some piles there. People were wondering what was going on.
Yeah,
with
we've got a lot of questions about the additional piles on the top of the landfill. They're very visible.
Right, they're mostly visible from Revere, but we made the notification of Mass DP and the Board of Health when construction was going to start, probably about a month ago,
Okay,
to alert everyone.
okay. Thank you. Thank you, Elliot.
Thank you.
Public health report, do we have?
Paris here.
Oh, this, Sorry, I didn't see you.
I snuck in. Hi, good evening. Public Health Nursing Report, March 2025. We'll start off as normal, COVID, 17 cases, but these are only including the rapid cases, the PCR, not the rapid tests. Tuberculosis, we have 2, possibly 3 active cases right now in Saugus, which is mostly typical. We hover around 2 to 5 cases. Foodborne illnesses, we had 7 this month. 2 restaurants were investigated. John will probably go further into that. Foods at any point can be contaminated during the processing, production, or service process, so please be aware of food poisoning symptoms, which are nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, fever, cramps, and it usually happens between 4 to 12 hours after you've eaten it. If you think you have food poisoning, please call your doctor or get tested. It really helps us with having that sort of documentation to investigate further. In the month of March, we had 38 cases of influenza, which is down much from the 201 cases that we saw in February. Let's see. We obviously hit the peak and it's now trending down, but just be aware flu does stay around all year, so it's never too late to get your flu shot. Another thing I just wanted to touch upon, I know I touched upon it last time, but the measles outbreak in Texas, the cases are now 481, up from 159 last month when I reported. 3 people have died. 2 being pediatric cases. Of those people, the 481, 97% were unvaccinated, fully vaccinated, which that means they get 2 MMRs. One starts when you're 12 months old, and then the next you get when you're about 4 or 5. The 3 people that passed were not vaccinated at all. Pediatric patients were 6 and 8 years old. It is, like I talked about before, measles is highly contagious, probably the most contagious disease that we know of. A person can transmit measles if they're in a room 3, 4, up to 4 hours later. The measles is still circulating. We did have a case here in Boston. Last week, there was a Boston man traveling on the Amtrak train infected with measles. The Boston Board of Health and state DPH are still contact tracing for that. In the last 20 years, other than 2019 where there was an outbreak, 2025, we have seen the highest numbers. So far in 2025, we've seen 600 cases, and we're only in April. Last year, it was 285. So in the U.S. pre-measles vaccines, 400 to 500 people died yearly, and about 40,000 were hospitalized. In 2000, the U.S. declared measles eliminated from the country, but then outbreaks have grown because of the rise of anti-vaccine beliefs. So just be aware, measles is super contagious. Please, if you haven't gotten vaccinated, vaccinate, and especially vaccinate your children. Any questions?
Any questions?
No.
Oh, that was really informative, thank you.
Yeah, yep.
Get vaccinated.
Yes.
Director's report.
All right, so we did have a busy month in March, and I've been trying to resume my weekly updates, sending them to you guys, just
Thank
to
you
try
for
to try to keep you guys, in touch with what's going on in the office day to day. So as Terry mentioned, we did do a few food worthiness case investigations at Grill House and Chipotle. We completed a NEARS form and submitted that to the State Department of Public Health for Grill House. When we did the investigations, we did yield some holding violations, so they have addressed them since, and we haven't had any further complaints or any further cases from those two establishments. We've conducted plan reviews at Victor's Italian and Katrina's at Hamilton Street, and we're still in the preliminary phases of that. We just received them both, so we're going through them bit by bit. The Katrina's site has had some previous issues due to the fact that the old location was a disaster, to put it bluntly, at the old Dragon Island restaurant. So we did have some issues there prior, so we're going to be kind of going through that with a fine-tooth comb. Last week we did issue an embargo of all prepared foods to the 7-Eleven on Lincoln Ave due to the fact that they didn't have anybody that was ServSafe certified at the site. When we did the investigation, it was seen that the certificate for ServSafe and allergen awareness belonged to somebody that no longer worked at the restaurant, so there was nobody to oversee the actual prepared foods aspect of the store. So we haven't lifted that embargo just yet, and we're waiting for further documentation from them prior to making any more moves there. We got a complaint regarding 34 Jasper Street regarding a bunch of debris in the driveway. We went by, and ultimately, now that it's starting to get warmer, we're going to start seeing a lot more complaints about standing water, a lot more complaints about rodents and what have you, and ultimately, now that the snow is all melted, it kind of reveals all the evil that was covered up over the winter. So we have been getting a lot more trash complaints as of late. We did receive word that they did clean it up last week, so we went by this morning, and it looks a lot better over there. Speaking in terms of debris, so we did have Savers cleaned up again, and that's going to be something that we're going to be looking a little bit more deeply administratively into. The owner has been very, very responsive when we have reached out to him regarding cleaning the property up, but ultimately we want to make sure that the whole place is being policed a little bit better, because ultimately it's kind of the nature of the beast at Savers that you're going to get a lot of debris to collect right along Penny Brook. So we want to make sure we're not doing having any contamination down there or what have you. So he's going to be looking into talking to a landscaper about policing the site a little bit better, but it has been cleaned up since last month. Same thing at the Old Continental restaurant. The proposed new Brazilian steakhouse that's over there did have a number of piles of debris out back because they're doing a full gut. When I went out there 2 weeks ago, I spoke to the gentleman on site, and essentially, they just kind of did everything really, really quick. You know what I mean? So there was a big pile of all the ductwork and metal out back, and then a big pile of concrete and marble from the countertops. So, it was all just kind of sitting there. So we wanted to make sure that it was up off the ground, because there has been, a history of rodent activity in that area. So they have removed the metal and the dumpsters on site, and they're looking to receive kind of a lift of the cease and desist that was issued by Inspectional Services. So they're doing a good job over there as far as the cleanup is concerned. We're finally closing the book on the water leak that happened at the Sears Auto Center. So they were issued their temporary discharge permit from Lynn Water and Sewer, and they were allowed to discharge 30,000 gallons, which was the number that ended up being in the basement over there. It sat there for a while. Obviously we were dealing with this in February, but ultimately it didn't seem to be any further damage or any sort of, migration off-site, and it was just kind of basically a swimming pool down there. So that's all been squared away. We're getting a lot of this, and this is something that we've been investigating over the course of the last month or so, but we've been receiving a lot of complaints from from Saugus DPW regarding the Route 1 lift station that's in front of 846 Broadway. And there's a number of restaurants and a number of residential buildings tied into that particular lift station, and we're starting to see, whether it be grease buildup, whether it be improper use of the sewer as far as flushing household items and needles and what have you. So we're starting to see a little bit more of an increased activity as far as that's concerned. So we're looking into some options as far as installing sewage grinders or something to that effect. I mean, we had spoken a little bit about the possibility of installing a residential grease trap at the new Atwood building. We're still in talks of that, but ultimately, we're looking for, any port in storm, just to make sure that we're, not running into these issues, over the course of the next, the life of that building over there. So we've been meeting with the DPW to just try to get everything squared away there. So we're still, in the midst of investigation over there.
Where is that lift station?
So that's in front of, the Saugus Mobile Home Park. That's,
okay.
So there's a number of restaurants, like I said, that are tied into it. So naming the, so it would be, Five Guys Burgers and Fries, McDonald's, Burger King, Walmart, as well as a number of residential spots that are tied into that same lift station. So, we're running into an issue where it's, okay, well, how do you differentiate the effluent that's coming off of these properties? So it's going to kind of be a situation where we have to kind of figure out kind of a catch-all for everything. So, like I said, we're going to continue to monitor that situation. We have collected all of our delinquent permits, so we are officially 100% compliance as far as our food establishments are concerned. We did collect over $1,000 in late fees. We have been running into, I'm sorry. So I'm kind of jumping around here a little bit. So we were contacted by Tufts Medical, and they're looking to collect some data as far as our youth risk behavior survey is concerned. So youth risk behavior survey is something that is sent around to our high school and our middle school, just to kind of, get a pulse of what's actually happening inside the school. So they're looking to, we reached out to the rec department today, and we reached out to the superintendent to find out a little bit more about when was the last time it was conducted. I know it was typically done every year, but I know COVID kind of put a hiccup in that, and so we were just looking for the most recent data so we can provide that to Tufts. We are starting to get all of our pool applications in, and typically we try to get them all open by Memorial Day, so we're looking to see some increased activity there. We've gotten 5 so far, Carly, I believe. 5. So, so we're starting to see some increased activity there. And then finally, I met with the DEP via Zoom last week just to touch base on the air quality monitor situation. So they've received the monitor itself as well as the enclosing structure down there. And the last bit before they can really put rubber to the road is just making sure that they're bidding contractors right now, and that's kind of been that's kind of the holdup at this point. I know they're going to be clearing brush in the next couple of weeks down there, but according to Sean down at the DEP, everything seems to be moving along the way it's supposed to, and it's just a matter of making sure that the bidding process for the contractors goes smoothly.
So the electricity's working out?
Yeah, well, so that's the holdup.
Okay.
So, but yeah, that's all I have for you, Mr. Chair. So if you have
That's
any
great.
questions, by all means.
It's great to hear about the air quality monitor, yeah.
It's coming along, man.
It's coming along slow, but it's still moving. Any questions for the director? No? Anything else as other business? Anything unanticipated in the last 48 hours? Seeing none? I guess that's it. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All those in favor, say aye. Unanimous. Thank you.
Nice.